Up next is Effie in Illinois, I think. Hopefully, I'm so terrible with anyway. Hi, Effie. What is your question?
Hi. Okay, so I'm not trans. However, I feel like this is something that I've heard you talk a little bit about. I've had a long mental health journey, and through the process, I've completely become a different person than I used to be. And I wanted to kind of disassociate my old identity by giving myself a new name. And I've been kind of doing like this slow process of like first using it online and introducing it to new people. And whenever I hear someone that I've known for a long time use it, it's really jarring and it feels weird. And I was wondering how you guys handled this process and how you knew that it was the right choice for you.
It's very difficult, and I think, like you say, with people you know longer, like your family, like especially if it's your parents or your brothers and sisters, these changes can be uncomfortable as well as right at the same time. Like it's not just like this is good, this is bad. It's like a whole weird mix of emotions, and I still get that with some things. You know, I grew up with my brothers, and you know that was like part of our relationship. And then in transitioning, obviously that's changed a little bit, and we're still like super close. But sometimes there'll be a situation, and it will be different now. Like, for example, you know, we'll go cycling together, and we'll stop and go to the toilet, and you know, we used to go to the same one together, and now we don't, and go a separate way. And it's just like something like that. And it's just like, because it's my family, and we you know, I've known them for like 32 years. It makes it a little bit different. Like on name stuff, for sure. It was similar for that, and I think it was quite hard for my parents particularly to accept my name change, because you know they picked my original name, obviously, I think.
So
sorry, did you want to?
If the process is weird, even in like the best of circumstances, how do you know if it's the right name, or like what's the difference between trying out a name that isn't right for you?
So I actually tried out sorry, Arden, I'll just jump in quick. I actually tried out a different name before this, before Katy, and I just told my like close friends who I'd come out to, like, can you call me this, and I'm going to see how it goes. And I tried it on the internet a bit, and like it was kind of a little bit uncomfortable, I guess, because it was new and people were saying a different thing. And it was also quite nice because it was like a name that more matched me, and like, but at the same time, it just like on reflection, I just thought of another name. I was like, think of another option. I just thought, well, maybe I'll try that one instead, and maybe this one isn't quite right. And then when I tried the other one, I was like, oh, this is definitely better. Like, this definitely suits me. So I think it can be uncomfortable and difficult to try and find this kind of stuff out, but I think you do just kind of know. I don't know if that's really good advice. How did you do yours?
It's something that I don't think a lot of cis people consider even being an option for them, that they don't have to be the person that they were.
Yeah, anyone can change a name.
I think, it's also important to remember that whether you're cis or trans, like, even if you're trans, right, you transitioned, you've had your same name, your new name for 10 years. If at the 10-year mark, you're like, you know what? I feel like changing my name. I thought of wanting to be called this, and I like that better, and I want to try it out. You can do that. Like, you can try out whatever name you want. There's no like magical law being like, you are bound to this name for all eternity. Like, no, that's silly.
If you pick Effie or whatever, and then change it, and next year you're like, actually, then just pick something else. Like, I know that's more of an ordeal, and I personally would never change my name again, because you have to change it at the bank and the fucking passport and everything. But you could.
How long did you feel comfortable or safe in like legally naming it? Because then there's like all the inconvenient parts.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I don't know. I think there's also a process of like understanding that like neurologically, like you've adapted to hearing a different name, and you're going to have to take time to neurologically adapt to being like, oh yeah, that is my name. So like even if you are like, I'm sure this is what I want my name to be, and I even want to start a legal process, and you still are like maybe like reacting to when you hear your old name, or if you are like not reacting as quickly as you want to when you hear your new name, that's okay. Like there's no like right or wrong way to do this process. It's literally just a name. It's a sound that you make to associate with you, the individual. That is all it is. It is a dense legal process, so like definitely it's good to be like relatively like sure, like this feels right for now. But like I think it's really important to not try to put the pressure on yourself of like, I have to find a name that I will never want to change again for as long as I live, because you don't know you 10 years from now. You don't know if the person 10 years from now is going to be like, you know what? That was what I needed at the time, but I want to do something different now. Let that person do that, and let you in the present, you, this person, do you, you know?
Yeah. And on like adjusting to it. Yeah, on adjusting to it, like I think I quite quickly picked up on when people were saying Katy, and like it didn't really take that long at all. But what has taken fucking ages and still hasn't gone away for me is my old name wasn't a common name, and Katy is quite common. But now whenever I hear someone say it in any context at all, like I get like that relates to me, and I get like an adrenaline rush of like, God, they fucking know, and it never is. But like, and that's because it's a rare name. So perhaps if you had a common name, that's not such a big issue.
Yeah, I had a common birth name, and Effie is the less common one. So I have like the opposite experience, but I have had like the excited feeling you get when someone new says the name that you told them to say. So I guess that's a good sign. That
it is a good sign.
A good choice for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't put the pressure on yourself that you have to find like the one true name, you know? Like it's good to be relatively sure, as sure as you can be, but you can't be absolutely sure about literally anything. And there's no point in being absolutely sure about a name, because again, it's literally just a sound you associate with yourself. Like I understand wanting to feel bonded to it, and I understand wanting to feel like it matches who you think yourself to be. That's totally valid. Just try to like lighten up the like pressure of like how intense of a decision it is, because it really is just like, I feel like being called this. That is enough, you know? But I appreciate the call. I think this is an interesting perspective.
Question before I hang up, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I was wondering, with seeing as you've had other names that you tried on before you picked the one that you stuck with, what are some like things that have ruined names that you've considered for yourself before?
Right. So when I was picking my name, I had like a real strict set of rules, and some of them were like not the name of someone that I hated from school, for example, and not the name of someone who I had ever, like had just a weird experience with, all this kind of stuff, or not the name of someone I know well, none of my friends' names, those kinds of things. But also then I had other rules, like I didn't want it to have an N in it, because for me that's like the most masculine letter, and it's like a green color, and so there was a lot of rules, and I really narrowed it down actually. And then when like the first name I tried fitted all the rules, and it just didn't really feel right, and that was it, and I just moved on, and now I'm happy here. So other than having to crop off every single weirdo I've ever met names and celebrities, and obviously because I asked my parents, actually this might answer your question more, I asked my parents what I would have been called, and my mum said Caitlin, and I was like, no, can't be a trans person called Caitlin. No offense to any Caitlins listening, it is a great name, I actually really like it, but
yeah, I think like for me, I had a fear, because I think all trans people have this fear that like I wasn't really a trans person, and that I was actually just confused or something, right? So there was a part of me that wanted a name that was going to be really flexible, and like that I was like, no matter where I identify, no matter how I think of myself at any point in time in the future, this name will apply to me. This will be my name. That was kind of what I thought. And I had like 2 names, I think, before I came to Arden. And it was really just like a sense of like, that name was like, that worked, but I didn't feel like me when people called me it. I kind of felt like I was like putting on a face or something. And when people called me Arden, I was like, that's it. That is my name. That's the right one. So I don't know. Like you might not have like a magical that's it feeling. Like it's not that serious, you know. Just trust your gut and like if you want to change it, change it.
Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for calling in, Effie. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
It was. Bye.
Bye.